Today I'll be talking about social reform in the Progressive Era. There was regulation of industries such as curtailment of the size of trust, limitations of working hours of women and children, and regulations on working conditions in plants. There was restrictions placed on the content of labeling of food and drugs, regulations on housing codes and development of zoning laws to govern construction. Politicians were even regulated by passages of initiative referendum and recall procedures. They also had restrictions on lobbying and limitations on patronage. Protection of immigrants was a big deal because people could no longer take advantage of them in the work environment. Yet regulation on immigration was also occurring to restrict them in the first place. Protection of women was also a big step because it protected non-consenting women on interstates from kidnapping and set regulations on prostitution. Fire codes were also put into play to control construction of industrial facilities and housing. Regulations on banks were forced so there could never be a huge economic collapse like the Great Depression again. You may be wondering, how does all this have to do with social work? And I'm here to explain how. Social workers learn from examples of misunderstanding of needs of vulnerable people in prior eras like the Progressive to practice personal reflection and self-correction to assure continual professional development. It helps them avoid purely moral views of social problems that neglect environmental and other contributors. This era helps social workers recognize and manage personal values in a way that allows professional values to guide practice and allow them to understand oppression of specific vulnerable populations. If nothing else, the Progressive Era showed how important human rights and social and economic justice really is.
Created using Powtoon.